ACOTAR 6 is officially drafting complete. While we wait, here's a clear recap of books 1 through 5, the character growth, the biggest threats, and the romances that drive every choice. Thank you for being here with me, and beware, this video contains major spoilers. Book 1, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Feyre Archeron is a human huntress who kills a wolf in the winter woods, but the wolf was a fairy. Tamlin, High Lord of the Spring Court, claims damages and takes her across the wall into Prythian. The Spring Court is bright and brittle. Amarantha's curse locks masks to every face and time is running out. Feyre and Tamlin fall into first love. Safety, meals without counting bites, silence without fear. But the cure for Spring's curse isn't comfort, it's sacrifice. When Tamlin is taken under the mountain, Feyre bargains with Rhysand, 1 week per month in the Night Court, in exchange for survival. She endures 3 trials. She kills the Midgard worm by outthinking it. She solves Amarantha's riddle. And in the final test, she stabs 3 Fae, ending with Tamlin, who survives because his heart is literally stone. Amarantha breaks her anyway. The High Lords resurrect Feyre as High Fae. The curse shatters. She goes back to Spring with Tamlin, alive, powerful, traumatized. A bargain on her arm, nightmares in her chest. When does safe become a cage? Book 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. Feyre is engaged to Tamlin and drowning. Doors lock, decisions are made for her. Panic spreads like frost. At the altar, Rhysand invokes the bargain and takes her away. Not to cage her elsewhere, but to offer a role. In Velaris, he introduces the Inner Circle, Mor, Amren, Cassian, and Azriel, and gives Feyre a chair at the table. He starts small and real. He teaches her to read, and the lessons turn into a string of flirty notes that put laughter back in her mouth. He trains her to use the powers the High Lords gifted her. When nightmares come, he shields without smothering. Trust scales up. To secure the Veritas orb in the Court of Nightmares, Rhys asks her to perform the part of his cruel consort. They set boundaries, she consents, they execute. It works, and it matters that it was her choice. Next, he sends her to the Weaver's cottage to test stealth. She retrieves a simple silver ring. Only later does she learn it was his mother's ring, the token Illyrian mothers send to the one worthy of their son. The ring chose her. On Starfall, starlight reigns over the city, and Feyre remembers what joy feels like. Rhys waits. He never rushes her. High above the world, a snowstorm traps them in a cabin. Feyre cooks for him. He tells the truth about what he did to keep Velaris safe. And the last wall falls. They are mates. She accepts the bond and chooses him. They become lovers, clearly, enthusiastically, as equals. The world answers back. Hybern wants the Cauldron to tear down the human Fae peace. To move the mortal queens, Rhys uses Veritas to reveal Velaris. The queens betray them, and Hybern strikes. The Night Court infiltrates Hybern's castle with the Book of Breathings to nullify the Cauldron. It's a trap. Tamlin has allied with Hybern to reclaim Feyre. Hybern doesn't just threaten Velaris, he ends 2 mortal lives to prove it. Elain and Nesta are forced into the Cauldron. Their human bodies die. They emerge High Fae. Elain comes back quiet and altered. The sight settles behind her eyes. Lucian's mating bond to Elain snaps into place the moment she surfaces. Nesta doesn't weep. She stares Hybern down, cold as iron, and points at him, a promise. Whatever the Cauldron took, it left her made and hungry for retribution. The king breaks the bargain tattoo, but he cannot touch the mating bond. Feyre and Rhys have already built the endgame. The night before, he made her High Lady of the Night Court. Feyre pretends to be broken, hides the bond, and returns to spring as a spy. The romance stops being subtext and becomes strategy. Two people choosing the same risk for the same future. Book 3, A Court of Wings and Ruin. Spring becomes Feyre's battlefield. From the inside, she exposes Ianthe, sabotages Hybern's foothold, and escapes across hostile lands with Lucian to the Night Court. The High Lords gather. Old grudges simmer, but alliances are made. Feyre secures terrifying assets. The Weaver, the Bone Carver, Bryaxis, because war is coming fast. The wall falls. Hybern advances. Miriam and Draken return to the skies.
Feyre's father sails in with a fleet and dies by the king's hand. On the last field, Cassian is broken. Nesta is about to be taken.
But Elain steps through smoke to drive Azriel's dagger, Truth-Teller, into the king's throat. Nesta takes his head. Amren unleashes her true form and obliterates Hybern's army. The cauldron fractures. Feyre and Rhys repair it at the cost of everything. Rhys dies and is brought back by the High Lords and by Feyre's will. The war ends. Feyre and Rhys choose rebuilding over ruling by fear, and the series pivots from survival to how you live after you've paid the bill. Book 4, A Court of Frost and Starlight. Velaris exhales. Solstice brings small gifts and awkward laughter, and the kind of quiet that makes wounds audible. Feyre and Rhys plan and try to heal what they can. Nesta can't sit at that table. She spirals, distance, drink, anger, and the story lines up the fall before the climb. Book 5, A Court of Silver Flames. Nesta is ordered to live in the House of Wind, work in the library, and train with Cassian. She meets Gwyneth Berdara, a priestess with a voice that won't stay small, and Emery, an Illyrian shopkeeper whose will outlives her clipped wings. Routine becomes ritual. Steps, breath, stance, repeat. The outside threat sharpens. The mortal queen Briellen, twisted by the cauldron and tethered to Koschei, hunts the dread trove, the mask that raises the dead, the harp that opens any door, the crown that seizes minds. Nesta, made by the cauldron, forges 3 weapons and names her sword Ataraxia, pouring stolen power into steel. With Cassian, the romance is adult and explicit, boundaries asked and kept, respect baked into every scene, equals in the ring and in bed. Traditionalists abduct Nesta, Gwyn, and Emery and throw them into the Illyrian blood rite on Ramil. Magic is suppressed. Survival is teamwork. They refuse to leave one another behind. At the summit, Briellen wears the crown, hooks Cassian's mind, and orders him to kill. He turns the blade on himself rather than on Nesta. Dawn breaks, the rite's dampening lifts, and Nesta unleashes everything she has left to unmake Briellen. The crown survives, even if its wearer does not. The final blow lands closer to home. Feyre's labor turns fatally dangerous, because a winged child cannot be born the ordinary way. Nesta takes up the harp, bargains away most of her power to the cauldron, and saves Feyre, Rhys, and their son, Nyx. Then she accepts the mating bond with Cassian. It isn't a reward for perfection. It's a decision to live and love, with her eyes open. Recapping, as we look toward the next book, Feyre and Rhysand are partners in rule and in strategy. Their bond is the series' working definition of love, as choice plus responsibility. Nesta and Cassian travel from trauma to trust and choose each other at every hard turn. Elain is a seer who pierced the king of Hybern at the moment it mattered most and her path, bonded to Lucian, drawn toward Azriel, and pulled into deeper politics, looks like the next lens the story may use. That's the heart of ACOTAR so far. First love and its limits. Equal love and what it costs. Sisterhood built in a training ring. A city rebuilt because people decided to stay. ACOTAR 6 has no public title or release date yet at the time of this recording, but the draft is in and the speculation is loud. Tell me your call. Elain and Lucian, Elain and Azriel, or something none of us have guessed. Thank you for watching and for feeling these stories with me.